General Motors just recalled 597,630 vehicles because their engines are literally self-destructing on highways. Connecting rods snapping, crankshafts fracturing, 14,000 reports of complete power loss while families are driving, 42 fires, 12 crashes. This is catastrophic engine failure, engineered into six-figure SUVs. But GM isn't alone in this disaster. Right now, across the luxury market, there's a dark pattern emerging. Maserati engines seizing at 10,000 miles. Range Rover transmissions dying before 5,000. Mazda, the reliability brand, scoring 20 out of 100 on Consumer Reports. I've spent weeks analyzing depreciation data, federal recalls, and thousands of owner complaints. These 12 luxury SUVs lost 50 to 70% value in 3 years. Not because they're old, because engines are disposable. If you own one or you're buying used, this could save you $40,000. Let's go. Number 12. Infiniti QX80 2021 to 2024. Picture walking into an Infiniti dealership in 2024. The salesman shows you a stunning QX80 for $78,400. Leather everywhere, heated seats, premium sound system. You drive it off the lot feeling like royalty. Fast forward 22 months, that same SUV worth $42,200. You just lost $36,200 before the real nightmare even begins. Here's what that salesman conveniently forgot to mention. That QX80 was built on a platform from 2011. 13-year-old bones wrapped in fresh paint and new headlights. The 5.6-liter V8 under the hood? Same engine from 2010. By 60,000 miles, it starts burning 1 quart of oil every 1,200 miles. Not leaking, literally burning it through worn piston rings like a chainsaw. Owners check their dipstick 3 weeks after an oil change and find it bone dry. They panic and rush to the dealer. The service advisor barely looks up from his computer. That's within normal specifications. Normal for an $80,000 luxury SUV? The 7-speed automatic adds insult to injury. Between 35 and 45 miles per hour, the whole vehicle shudders like you're driving over railroad tracks on glass-smooth pavement. Nissan actually released a technical bulletin acknowledging the torque converter problem, but they didn't fix it. They just documented that it exists. Then 2025 arrived. Infiniti launched a completely redesigned QX80 with a modern twin-turbo V6. Every 2024 model became obsolete instantly. Dealers started slashing prices 46% off just to clear the lots. When brand new vehicles sell at half price, used values don't decline, they evaporate. Number 11. Jeep Grand Wagoneer 2022 to 2024. This is where American ambition met American reality. Jeep wanted to build an Escalade killer, something that screamed luxury, power, and prestige. They succeeded at building something all right. Starting price, $103,500. Current value after 24 months, $54,200. That's $49,300 gone, vanished in 2 years. The 6.4-liter Hemi V8 sounds glorious when you start it, feels powerful when you accelerate, gets 13 miles per gallon when you're actually driving it. In 2026, you're hemorrhaging over $4,100 annually just feeding this beast premium fuel. But fuel costs are pocket change compared to what happens next. Stellantis recalled 23 V609, fuel pump failures, complete engine shutdown, at highway speeds, 28 documented cases of families losing all power while merging onto interstates. No warning, just dead. Consumer Reports took one look at the Grand Cherokee, same platform, same problems, and gave it 22 out of 100. One Michigan couple's Grand Wagoneer spent 8 months at the dealership during a 39-month lease. 8 months! They'd fixed the transmission, then the electrical system died. They'd fix the electrical, then the fuel system failed. an endless nightmare cycle. Dealers got desperate. $18,000 discounts on brand new units. When a vehicle loses 17% value before leaving the showroom, you're not buying luxury. You're funding Stellantis's quality control crisis with your retirement savings. Number 10. Land Rover Range Rover 2022 to 2024. There's a reason Range Rover owners joke about needing two, one to drive while the other's in the shop. Kelley Blue Book doesn't laugh. Their data shows $72,000 evaporating over 5 years, $14,400 disappearing annually. A $115,000 Range Rover becomes a $36,000 liability. 63% of your money gone. But here's where it gets genuinely painful. A 2024 Range Rover P530 with 4,800 miles, basically new, needed a complete ZF 8-speed transmission. The owner had barely finished making his second payment. The transmission started grinding like a coffee grinder, shuddering like it was possessed. 6 weeks at the dealer, entirely new transmission, on a vehicle that cost more than most people make in 2 years. The 3-liter twin-turbo hides another ticking bomb. The wastegate actuator on the turbocharger fails between 30,000 and 50,000 miles. When it dies, the engine limps. Your $115,000 luxury cruiser becomes a golf cart struggling to reach highway speeds. Repair? $8,200 for one component. The timing chain stretches by 60,000 miles. Replacing it requires disassembling the entire front end. $4,800 in parts and labor. Land Rover has known about this design flaw for years. They just keep building them the same way. 10-year-old Range Rovers that once commanded $150,000 now sell for $22,000, less than a Honda Accord. This isn't depreciation. This is financial execution. Number 9. The Maserati Levante 2017 to 2024. Ferrari DNA. That's what the brochure promised. What you actually got was a $92,000 to $137,000 Italian disaster waiting to happen. Current 3-year-old values? $28,000 to $41,000, 70% depreciation. Up to $91,000 literally evaporated. But the money loss isn't even the scariest part. The 3-liter twin-turbo V6 sounds exotic because it shares engineering with Ferrari, which means it also shares Ferrari's tendency to explode spectacularly. Multiple owners reported catastrophic engine seizures at almost identical mileage, between 10,000 and 18,000 miles. One case went viral. Owner bought new, did every service at Maserati dealers. At 10,400 miles driving to work, the engine made a sound like a grenade detonating. Complete seizure. The oil pump drive gear had shattered into pieces, starving the engine of oil. Everything internal? Destroyed. Maserati's quote, $24,000 for a new engine on an 18-month-old vehicle. Another owner had the identical failure. Engine seized, oil everywhere. He expected warranty coverage. Maserati claimed the oil filter wasn't changed properly and voided his warranty. He had receipts, every service done at authorized Maserati centers. Didn't matter. $25,000 out of pocket. Want it fixed? Good luck. The entire United Kingdom has 12 authorized Maserati centers. One owner waited 14 weeks for turbocharger parts from Italy. Insurance? $6,200 annually. Brake service? $3,400. Maserati discontinued the Levante in 2024. Dead nameplate, dead resale, dead money. Number 8. Cadillac Escalade 2021 to 2024. April 2025. The day that should terrify every full-size luxury SUV owner in America. General Motors recalled 597,630 vehicles, Escalade, Tahoe, Suburban, Yukon, model years 2021 through 2024, all equipped with the 6.2-liter L87 V8, all at risk of catastrophic failure. The problem is in the connecting rods and crankshafts. GM used powdered metal forging instead of traditional forged steel. Cost savings. Under sustained load, highway driving, towing, climbing grades, microscopic cracks form in the metal grain boundaries. Those cracks spread, silently, until the component explodes. NHTSA documents paint a terrifying picture. 28,000 field reports of engine failure, 14,000 reports of total power loss while driving, 12 crashes, 42 fires, real families, real disasters. One owner was driving his family to Disney World, 5 people in the Escalade, cruising at 75 miles per hour on I-4. Sudden gunshot sound. The engine died instantly, oil pouring onto the highway. A connecting rod had punched through the engine block like a bullet. At the dealer, 4 other Escalade owners stood there, same failure, all waiting for new engines. The dealer offered 67% of original price after 1 year. Value significantly impaired by known defect, they said clinically. GM knew about this in 2022, kept selling them anyway, for 2 more years. If you're buying a used 2021 to 2024 Escalade, you're buying a documented time bomb with leather seats. Number 7. Lincoln Aviator 2020 to 2024. Lincoln wanted to prove American luxury could match the Germans. They almost convinced you. Starting price, $68,000. Beautiful interior, smooth ride, quiet cabin. 3 years later, worth $33,320. 51% depreciation. More than half your investment gone. The 3-liter twin-turbo V6 shares bones with the Ford Explorer ST, which means it shares the Explorer's problems. By 35,000 miles, carbon buildup on the intake valves becomes so severe the engine starts misfiring. Rough idle, power loss, check engine light staring at you. The fix is called walnut blasting. They remove the intake manifold and blast the valves with crushed walnut shells, $840. But here's the part Lincoln's sales brochure forgot to mention. You repeat this every 40,000 miles. Over 100,000 miles? $2,100 in surprise maintenance nobody warned you about. The 10-speed automatic develops a shudder that feels like driving over cattle guards on smooth pavement. Ford TSB 2023-30 says a special fluid flush fixes it, $380. Does it work? For 15,000 miles. Then the shudder returns. The real fix? Complete transmission replacement, $5,200. The plug-in hybrid adds a 13.6 kilowatt-hour battery giving 21 miles of electric range. Sounds great. By 60,000 miles, degradation drops that to 12 miles. Battery replacement? $12,000. Not covered under warranty. Lincoln calls it a wear item, like brake pads, on a $12,000 component. Number 6. Genesis GV80, 2021 to 2024. Hyundai created Genesis to fight the Germans. On paper, it worked. The GV80 flagship at $72,000 undercut BMW by $10,000. Beautiful design, loaded with technology. 30 months later, worth $38,160. 47% gone. But depreciation is just the opening act. 3 major recalls in 18 months, each one worse than the last. The 2.5-liter turbo 4-cylinder started burning oil by 40,000 miles. 1 corp every 1,000 miles. Genesis service advisors claimed this was within normal parameters. For a luxury SUV? Normal? The 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6 has a darker secret. Turbocharger failures between 28,000 and 45,000 miles. The wastegate actuator sticks, causes overboost, then sudden complete power loss. Owners describe a high-pitched whistle from the engine bay. Then, nothing. No acceleration, no power. $6,800 per turbocharger replacement. Recall 23V312 addressed something genuinely terrifying. The anti-lock brake module had a software error that increased stopping distances by 20%. You expect to stop in 120 feet. You actually need 144 feet. That extra 24 feet could be the difference between avoiding a crash and causing one. Here's the fundamental problem. Genesis has no independent service network. Your $72,000 luxury flagship gets serviced at Hyundai dealerships next to $23,000 Elantras. Parts? Inconsistent. One Arizona owner waited 7 weeks for a turbocharger. Only 3 units in the entire U.S. distribution network. Number 5. Mercedes-Benz GLE 2020 to 2024. Mercedes-Benz, a name that once meant bulletproof German engineering. The GLE was supposed to carry that legacy forward. Instead, it became a case study in how over-engineering creates expensive disasters. The 3.0-liter OM656 turbo diesel sounds perfect. Massive torque, great fuel economy, proven European technology. But Mercedes engineers forgot something critical. American diesel fuel is different than European diesel, and Americans don't drive like Europeans. The diesel particulate filter clogs between 35,000 and 55,000 miles. The engine tries to run regeneration cycles to burn off soot, but if you don't drive long enough on highways at sustained speeds, the cycle never completes. Eventually, the system gives up, puts the vehicle into limp mode, 50 miles per hour maximum, dashboard lights everywhere. Mercedes TSB LI 51.10P07569 addresses this with forced regeneration at the dealer, $840. It doesn't fix the problem, it postpones it. The selective catalytic reduction system uses urea fluid. The injectors crystallize, clog, throw error code P20EE, limit your speed to 50 miles per hour. Injector replacement, $2,900. The GLE 53 AMG has a 48-volt mild hybrid battery that fails between 50,000 and 80,000 miles, $4,200 to replace. All mild hybrid functions, dead. Mercedes calls it a wear item, not covered under warranty. The 9G Tronic 9-speed automatic has a conductor plate that cracks from heat cycling, erratic shifting, harsh downshifts, eventually limp mode. $4,600 repair. German engineering became German complications. Number 4. Volvo XC90, 2016 to 2024. For decades, Volvo meant one thing: Swedish reliability. The XC90 flagship promised to continue that tradition. Beautiful Scandinavian design, cutting-edge safety. Starting price, $58,000. 4 years later, $26,680, 54% depreciation. But here's what most buyers don't know. Volvo hasn't been Swedish since 2010. Geely, a Chinese conglomerate, owns them now. The engineering changed, the parts network changed, everything changed. The 2.0-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder seems impossibly small for a 7-passenger SUV weighing over 4,600 pounds. That tiny engine works brutally hard. By 50,000 miles, the PCV system fails, creates excessive pressure in the crankcase, forces oil past seals into the intake manifold. $1,840 repair. They have to remove half the engine accessories to access a $40 valve. The T6 takes it further. Turbocharger and supercharger on the same 2.0-liter engine. Engineering marvel. Makes 316 horsepower until the supercharger electromagnetic clutch fails around 60,000 miles. Grinding noise like chewing gravel. You lose 80 horsepower instantly. $3,400 replacement. The 8-speed automatic develops shift solenoid failures, harsh shifts, slipping, error codes, $3,200 valve body replacement. Only Volvo dealers can reprogram it. Chinese ownership created another problem. Parts availability in North America is completely inconsistent. One Colorado owner waited 11 weeks for a turbocharger actuator. The part shipped from Sweden, got stuck in customs, back-ordered, then shipped again.
Number 3. Audi Q7, 2017 to 2024. Audi built a reputation on sophisticated German engineering. The Q7 represents that philosophy perfectly. Quattro all-wheel drive, virtual cockpit, advanced safety systems. Starting price, $65,000. 5 years later, $27,300. 58% depreciation. A $37,700 loss. The 3.0-liter supercharged V6 in 2017 to 2019 models makes beautiful power. Sounds fantastic, until the timing chain tensioner fails between 60,000 and 90,000 miles. Most manufacturers position timing chains accessibly. Audi, they buried it, front-mounted, which means the entire engine comes out to replace one component. 18 hours of labor at $175 per hour. That's $3,150 in labor alone. Add $3,200 in parts. Total, $6,350. The actual part costs $200 on a Toyota. Audi's engineering makes it a $6,000 repair. The 2020 Plus models switched to a turbocharged 3.0-liter V6. Different engine, different problem. Carbon buildup on direct injection intake valves. By 50,000 miles, the valves are so caked the engine misfires and loses power. Walnut blasting. $920. You'll need it again at 100,000 miles. The 8-speed Tiptronic uses a mechatronic unit that combines the transmission computer with the valve body. When it fails, typically between 70,000 and 100,000 miles, you lose entire gears. The transmission skips from 3rd to 5th or refuses to downshift. $5,400 replacement. 1 week without your vehicle.
Number 2. BMW X5, 2019 to 2024. The B58 3.0-liter turbocharged inline-6 is genuinely one of the finest engines ever built. 335 horsepower. Sounds incredible. Pushes this 5,000-pound SUV to 60 miles per hour in 5.3 seconds. Starting price, $84,000. 5 years later, $37,000. 56% depreciation. But it's what happens at mile 45,000 that changes everything. The high-pressure fuel pump starts to fail. The B58 uses direct injection with fuel pressure exceeding 2,900 psi. That extreme pressure requires a specialized pump driven directly by the camshaft. Constant high-load operation wears it internally, creates metal shavings, contaminates the entire fuel system. When it fails, the engine loses power, runs rough, eventually won't start. The pump costs $890, but BMW buried it deep in the engine bay behind multiple components. Labor, $1,310. Total, $2,400. The ZF 8-speed automatic is used in everything from Chryslers to Rolls-Royces, but BMW calibrates it aggressively for sporty driving. That aggressive tuning wears the mechatronic sleeve, causes harsh 2-3 upshifts that feel like rear endings. $4,800 repair. BMW classifies it as a wear item, not covered under powertrain warranty. Out of warranty at 50,000 miles, every repair becomes a gamble. An alternator costing $380 on a Toyota costs $1,240 on the X5. Integrated with the serpentine belt tensioner, requires special dealer programming. A water pump costing $620 on a Chevrolet costs $2,100 on the X5. It's electric, computer-controlled. German engineering became German financial penalties.
Number 1. Mazda CX-90, 2024 to 2026. This one hurts the most, because Mazda was supposed to be different. For decades, they were the brand you bought when you wanted something fun but reliable. Japanese reliability, driving dynamics, honest value. The CX-90 was their statement vehicle, their first true luxury three-row SUV to compete with Lexus, Acura, BMW. Consumer Reports predicted reliability scores: 20 out of 100 for the plug-in hybrid, 22 out of 100 for the turbocharged gas model. The notoriously unreliable Jeep Grand Cherokee scored higher. These are the lowest reliability scores Consumer Reports has given Mazda in 15 years. Between June 2023 and September 2025, just 27 months, the CX-90 was recalled 11 times. 11 on a vehicle barely 2 years old. These aren't cosmetic issues, they're catastrophic powertrain failures. The 2.5-liter turbocharged engine fails in ways engineers thought were impossible. Turbochargers dying at 15,000 miles, timing chains stretching by 40,000, cylinder head gaskets leaking coolant into oil. One owner bought new, drove carefully, did all maintenance at 18,400 miles, rattling from the engine. Dealer diagnosis? Your engine needs complete replacement. Brand new engine, 18,400 miles, $52,000 vehicle. Consumer Reports rated the engine and transmission 1/5. 1 out of 5, lower than vehicles recalled for fires. Mazda's response? They expect the same problems in 2026. Mazda destroyed decades of trust in 2 years. Buyers expected Mazda reliability, got scores worse than Chrysler, worse than Land Rover. The CX-90 proved even the most trusted brands can produce disposable engines, and that's what makes this the ultimate betrayal.